Overall, a lot of good contributions from a lot of different players. A lot of focus, of course, on the young players. Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers as that backcourt going forward. Angel Reese and her contributions defensively on the boards. But for Caitlin Clark, we always talk about her shooting, and everyone's always talked about her shooting. But I've said for the longest time, her passing and playmaking is really the differentiator, because you combine that with the deep shooting, and she's got vision that is beyond or on par with anyone I've ever seen. And it's emphasized with the talent on Team USA because she's got a plethora.
I am here to kill. Those 4 words just changed everything in the world of women's basketball. Caitlin Clark didn't just walk onto the Team USA court, she set the entire facility on fire with a mindset that has the veterans absolutely reeling. Newly leaked footage from the recent Team USA camp shows a side of the generational star we have never seen before, and the silence from the old guard was deafening. While the cameras were supposed to capture a friendly scrimmage, they caught a cold-blooded assassin who isn't looking to make friends or play nice with the established hierarchy. The footage reveals a level of intensity that many players simply weren't prepared for, proving that the takeover is happening much faster than anyone anticipated. This isn't just about hoops anymore, it's a hostile takeover of the sport.
She's got vision that is beyond or on par with anyone I've ever seen, and it's emphasized with the talent on Team USA because she's got a plethora of stars to pass the rock to. And that was on display again in this one. She led Team USA easily in assists, could have had more, 7 in the final game, and dimes to Paige Beckers, good passes to Angel Reese, just spreading the ball all over the floor and playmaking at a top tier level. Unfortunately, Reese also didn't finish one of the, as well as Reese plays, she still needs to finish better near the rim. And with Caitlin, she's still...
The tension in the gym was thick enough to cut with a knife when the veteran players realized Caitlin wasn't there to pay her dues. For months, we have heard the whispers about the side-eyeing and the cold shoulders from the league's biggest stars. But this unseen footage puts the drama on full display. You can see the visible frustration on the faces of players like Ryan Howard as Caitlin starts pulling up from the logo and draining shots like it is a light practice drill. It is one thing to hear the hype on social media, but it is another thing entirely to have a rookie come into your house and snatch the MVP trophy right out of your hands. The veteran players were caught looking silly as the kid they tried to shadow suddenly became the son everyone was revolving around.
The standout one was the dime to Paige Beckers, full court pass. There's a couple angles of that one, but Caitlin lets it go all the way down the court to Beckers. Just a beautiful delivery, dime, and a good finish, obviously, from Paige right there. And, on that, it was that same exact play where you can look at a different look at it and how Caitlin got the ball to Paige on that, as you would call it, a touchdown pass. Here's another peek at that from the traditional angle. Caitlin finding Paige all the way down.
The most shocking part of the leaked video is the epic monologue Caitlin dropped that has since gone viral across every corner of the internet. She looked directly into the soul of the competition and made it clear that her off-court personality has nothing to do with what happens between the lines. When she steps on that hardwood, she is coming for blood and she is coming for the win at all costs. She explicitly stated that she wants to be the greatest to ever do it, and she doesn't care who is sitting on the other bench. This Mamba mentality is exactly what the fans have been craving, but it is also what is causing so much friction behind the scenes with the veterans who feel like she hasn't earned that level of swagger yet.
That she hit in the game that, might not get or draw as much attention, but because she draws so much attention, they free up her teammates. Like on this one right here, you can see Caitlin has the ball just past half court, gets it. The defense is always going to focus on her because she could pull from there, right? So you see 2 come and then finds Paige, bucket. Paige buckets, hence the name. And Paige was terrific all tournament long as well, of course. I mean, I've tooted the horn of that backcourt on many occasions throughout this tournament. And then there was another look from Caitlin where pretty simple.
A lot of people were questioning if Caitlin still had that magic after the long layoff, but she answered every single doubt with a performance that defied logic. During the FIBA qualifiers, she didn't just play well, she was historically efficient. Imagine coming off the bench or starting a game and shooting 100% from the field while being the primary target of the opposing defense. She made the game look completely effortless, playing with a level of vision and execution that looked like it was being run through a supercomputer. People were waiting for her to stumble or show some rust, but instead she looked sensational, leaving the scouts and the coaches in a state of pure shock at how much she has improved her game in such a short window.
Reese with the size advantage puts it home. Speaking of size advantage, there was Awa Pham in this game too. She got some run. People got a look at her, and you see the talent with Pham. Obviously, I think she's still got a ways to go, still very raw, of course, but the size is undeniable, and she is coordinated. So you put those two things together, and she's a top level prospect. I would still take Paige Beckers on the mind. Easy Fudd if it were me as the top pick, but you can see
the passing prowess was the real differentiator in this new footage that has everyone talking. We all know she can shoot the lights out from 30 feet, but her playmaking on Team USA reached a level that is arguably on par with the best we have ever seen in the history of the game. She led the team in assist with ease, zipping passes through windows that didn't even seem to exist. Whether it was a fast break dime or a half-court set, she was manipulating the defense like a puppet master. This is what makes her so dangerous. When you have a plethora of stars around her, she becomes a force multiplier. The way she spreads the ball all over the floor makes it impossible for teams to double team her without giving up a wide open layup to another superstar.
Game obviously can go to a whole nother level at the next level when she indeed does get out there. Caitlin didn't just do it offensively though too. She got it done on the defensive side of the ball. In this one, she played pretty well defensively, I think, in the tournament overall, but good defensive possession, forces the steal, knocks it off the opposition, and it goes the other way. And this was a better team that they played today in Spain, but the passing prowess was on display nonetheless. You see captured in a still image right there. Sums it up rather nicely.
One specific play from the footage is being hailed as the pass of the decade. Caitlin grabbed a rebound, turned on a dime, and launched a full-court touchdown pass that hit Paige Buchers right in stride for an easy finish. The distance and the accuracy on that delivery were absolutely terrifying for any defensive coordinator watching from the sidelines. It was a play that required 0 dribbles and took less than 2 seconds to go from one end of the court to the other. That kind of transition offense is what makes this current iteration of Team USA look like an unbeatable juggernaut. It also highlighted the incredible chemistry between Caitlin and Paige, a backcourt duo that looks like the future of the sport for the next 15 years.
That's why she won unrivaled one-on-one. Paige Beckers, 9 points on 4 of 9 shooting. Caitlin didn't shoot the ball particularly well. She had one really deep logo 3 in this one, but didn't shoot the 3 ball particularly well, but nonetheless winds up with 7 points. There was a floater she hit. She was fouled right before. I think that's a big step for her. You know, she needs to work on the mid-range game. We've seen her do that some in this tournament, so encouraging signs. And then again, the 7 assists from Caitlin Clark to lead the way as she led the way for Team USA in that category by quite a good distance. But nonetheless, fun.
But it wasn't just about the offense. Caitlin showed a defensive grit that many critics said she lacked during her collegiate career. In the game against Spain, she was a pest on the perimeter, forcing steals and knocking the ball off the opposition to regain possession. She was diving for loose balls and switching onto bigger players without hesitation. This defensive evolution is a massive warning sign for the rest of the league. If she can combine elite scoring and record-breaking passing with high-level defensive stops, there is truly no weakness left to exploit. She is transforming into a complete player right before our eyes, and the Team USA staff is clearly leaning into her as the cornerstone of their defensive rotations moving forward.
Caitlin Clark back on the floor, to see these players playing together, to see the young players playing together, Paige and Caitlin and Angel, and to end the drought that we've been missing when it comes to the WNBA superstars. Now, you know, keep giving us the water, negotiators.
While Caitlin was dominating, the drama regarding the Indiana Fever and Kelsey Mitchell began to boil over in the background. With the new CBA deal finalized, the front office is facing some brutal financial decisions that could change the face of the franchise. There is a massive debate raging about whether Kelsey Mitchell is worth a $1.4 million investment, or if that money should be used to bring in more role players to support Caitlin. Some insiders feel that paying Mitchell the supermax would cripple the team's ability to build a deep bench. It is a cold business reality that is starting to create some friction, as players are entitled to their opinions on their worth. But the team has to figure out how to maximize the Caitlin Clark era. The strategy is simple but controversial. Do you keep a high-scoring veteran at a premium price, or do you take that cap money and find two players who can provide the same efficiency for a fraction of the cost? If the Fever want a real shot at a championship, they have to be ruthless with the salary cap. The footage from the Team USA games showed that Caitlin can make almost any teammate look like an all-star just by putting them in the right position. This realization might make Kelsey Mitchell expendable in the eyes of the front office, which would be a shocking move for a player who has been the face of the team for so long. The business side of basketball is looking real spooky right now as the new era begins. We also have to talk about the chemistry with Angel Reese, which was another highlight of the recent footage. Despite all the media-driven narratives about a rivalry, the two looked like a cohesive unit on the floor. Angel was a monster on the boards, snagging 8 rebounds in limited minutes and providing a physical presence that allowed Caitlin to leak out in transition. There was one sequence where Caitlin found Angel on the baseline, and the size advantage was so overwhelming that it was an automatic 2 points. If these two can continue to build that inside-out connection, the league is in serious trouble. They represent two different styles of dominance that, when paired together, create a nightmare for any opposing coach. However, it wasn't a perfect run, and Caitlin would be the first to tell you that. She still struggles with unforced turnovers that drive coaching staffs crazy. Sometimes she gets a little too aggressive with her risky passes, trying to thread a needle that just isn't there. But as the analysts pointed out, the more she turns it over, the better she is usually playing, because it means she is being ultra aggressive. You have to take the good with the bad when you have a player who has the ball in her hands that much. The key is eliminating the unforced errors while keeping the creative flair that makes her special. The footage showed her working through these mistakes in real time, adjusting her angles and her timing. The expansion of the league is adding another layer of chaos to the mix, with Portland and Toronto officially joining the WNBA. This means an expansion draft is looming, and every team is going to have to make some incredibly difficult protection lists. The leaked documents suggest that teams are already scrambling to figure out who they can afford to lose. With the rise of Caitlin Clark, the value of every roster spot has skyrocketed because everyone wants to be part of the most watched era in basketball history. The expansion draft is projected for early April, right in the middle of the Final Four excitement, making it one of the most packed months in the history of the sport. The stakes have never been higher for these athletes. The new CBA deal is a massive victory for the players, providing better travel accommodations, chartered flights, and improved training facilities. This is all part of the ratcheted up competition level we are seeing across the board. When athletes are taken care of, the product on the court gets significantly better. We are seeing these young stars coming into the league with better conditions than the legends who came before them. This allows them to focus entirely on their craft, which is why the level of play from rookies like Caitlin is so much higher than what we saw a decade ago. The investment is finally matching the talent, and the results are showing up in the television ratings and the sold-out arenas. The collegiate draft is another major milestone on the calendar, with April 13th being the date everything changes for the next crop of stars. Players like Kiki Rice are looking at the current landscape with a massive sigh of relief because the path to the professional ranks is finally paved with financial stability. The veterans and the owners deserve kudos for getting this deal done before the May 8th start of the season. It ensures that the focus remains on the game and not on labor disputes. The young ladies coming up now have a chance to do something they have dreamed of since they were children, but with the added benefit of being treated like the world-class professionals they truly are. There is also the emergence of new prospects like the one referred to as FAM in the scouting reports, who showed some tantalizing potential during the tournament. Standing with undeniable size and surprising coordination, she represents the next wave of international talent that will be challenging the American stars. Her ability to hit a step-back jumper at her height is something you just don't see every day. While she is still raw, the potential is through the roof. It serves as a reminder to Caitlin and the rest of Team USA that the world is catching up. You can't afford to take a single day off because there is always someone younger and hungrier coming for your spot on the mountain. Kelsey Plum and Kahleah Copper also deserve a massive shout out for their roles in the undefeated run. Plum was a scoring machine, finishing with 18 points in the final game and showing why she is one of the most respected veterans in the league. Copper was equally impressive, leading the team in scoring for much of the tournament. The synergy between these veterans and the younger players is what makes the Team USA footage so compelling. Despite the rumors of jealousy, you can see moments of genuine mentorship where the older players are passing down the secrets of the game to Caitlin. It is a passing of the torch that is happening in real time, even if it comes with some growing pains. The efficiency of the Team USA offense when Caitlin is on the floor is something the stats don't even fully capture. It is about the gravity she pulls. Every time she crosses half court, two defenders have to account for her, which leaves the rest of the floor wide open. We saw this in the footage where she hit a quick pass to Kelsey Plum, who then found an open shooter for a wide open look. These are the hockey assists that don't always show up in the box score, but are the reason why the team is winning by 20 points. She is a basketball genius who understands the geometry of the court better than almost anyone we have ever seen enter the league. The calendar for the next few months is absolutely grueling for these players. From free agency qualifying on April 7th to the negotiation window on the 9th, there is no time to breathe. The league has shortened the negotiation period from 2 weeks down to just 3 days, which is going to lead to some explosive moves and shocking trades. Players and agents have already been having exit interviews and quiet conversations, so don't expect them to go into this blind. By the time training camp opens on April 19th, the entire landscape of the WNBA will look completely different. It is a high-stakes game of musical chairs where the music is about to stop. One of the most interesting rule changes being proposed involves all WNBA players on rookie contracts. If a player makes an all-WNBA team while still on their rookie deal, they could potentially qualify for a supermax salary much faster than before. This is a direct response to the impact players like Caitlin are having on the league's bottom line. It would allow the stars to get paid their true market value earlier, but it also creates a massive headache for general managers trying to manage the salary cap. It is a double-edged sword that could lead to some legendary players being forced off their original teams because the franchise simply cannot afford to keep all that talent under one roof. As we look ahead to the World Cup and the Olympics, the future of Team USA appears to be in incredibly capable hands. Seeing Paige, Caitlin, and Angel playing together was a dream come true for fans who have been following them since their high school days. The drought of missing the WNBA superstars is finally over, and the water is flowing again. The level of competition has been ratcheted up to a point where every game feels like a playoff match. The negotiators have done their job, the players have done theirs, and now it is time for the fans to sit back and watch the greatest show on earth. The energy surrounding the sport is at an all-time high. Caitlin Clark is no longer just a college phenom. She is a global icon who is reshaping the professional landscape with every move she makes. The footage of her exploding at the Team USA camp is just the beginning of what promises to be a legendary career. Whether she is hitting logo threes or dropping full-court dimes, she is doing it with a level of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that is exactly what the sport needs. She is the catalyst for change, the player who is forcing the league to grow and adapt at a lightning-fast pace. The veterans might not like the way she is doing it, but they can't deny the results she is producing on and off the court. The road to the May 8th start of the season is paved with uncertainty, but one thing is for sure, Caitlin Clark is ready to kill. She has the vision, she has the shooting, and now she has the professional mindset required to dominate at the highest level. The drama with the veterans, the salary cap issues, and the expansion draft are all just background noise to a player who is singularly focused on becoming the greatest of all time. As the footage showed, she isn't interested in the spotlight for the sake of fame. She wants the spotlight because that is where the trophies are handed out. The rest of the league has been officially warned. The era of CC has arrived. As we wrap up this look into the shocking Team USA footage, the biggest takeaway is the sheer inevitability of Caitlin Clark's rise. She has managed to bridge the gap between being a polarizing figure and a dominant athlete with a level of grace that is rare to see. The veterans might continue to side-eye her, and the media might continue to manufacture drama, but none of that matters when the whistle blows. She is a player who thrives under pressure and turns every controversy into fuel for her fire. The world is watching, the critics are waiting, and Caitlin is just getting started. It is a new day for the WNBA, and the future has never looked brighter or more explosive.